Hello everybody and welcome here to the lab presented by Rio Grande Credit Union. We're back here at home for the first time in 49 days. Cross-conference matchup for the first time here tonight. New Mexico United hosting Birmingham Legion FC. Pre-game coming up. The 2022 New Mexico United season is presented by Sandia Resort and Casino. Close to home, far from ordinary. My name's Tyler Ortega, joined as always by Chris Hurst. Chris, it's been a while, but we are finally back.
Yes, we are back stronger, as they say, but well, a beautiful summer English day to welcome us back to the lab as well, right?
It's been raining on and off all day. I'm sure the ground is a little moist. Not going to be that big of an issue here tonight. Plenty to get into. Let's start off here with tonight's Players to Watch, presented by New Mexico Solar Group. Starting off first for the home side, we're going to be keeping an eye on the teenager, the midfielder, Christian Nava. He's been getting a lot of playing time lately, Chris, changing the game.
Yeah, and it's one of those where he got his chance and he took it. You know, came on in the last game, and changed the game. You know, the through ball which led to the goal, and then the direct assist for Chris Wehan's goal. And you know, every time he's just so hard for defenses to manage because he's so unpredictable.
And on the other side here for the visitors, we're going to be keeping an eye on the big defender, standing 6'5" out of Columbus, Ohio, Alex Cronali. He's an absolute unit, Chris.
Unit is the word, yeah, but watching during warm-up there, absolutely huge, like towers over everyone. Imagine New Mexico United will be doing everything possible to avoid his vicinity.
It is Pride Night here at the lab tonight. We're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll be back on the other side of this with lineups and kickoff.
We're celebrating July 4th at American Home Furniture and Mattress. We've been working to bring you the best prices on the largest selection of furniture in New Mexico. We've leveraged our buying power to negotiate the best deals with our suppliers and freight companies. Right now, find July 4th Inflation Busters throughout the store.
You always get the best for less at American Home Furniture and Mattress.
Straight down into the core of the earth, 700 feet beneath the surface, stalagmites and stalactites, million-year-old all-stars in a natural stadium, carved by water, populated by bats, and marveled by all. Carlsbad Caverns National Park.
Game time.
Welcome back to the lab here, ladies and gentlemen. It is Pride Night. Tonight's match is presented by PNM and Avangrid, together for clean energy now. Chris, New Mexico, 5 wins on the trot. Birmingham, 3 wins on the trot. Something's got to give here tonight. Let's jump into these lineups presented by Michelob Ultra. For Zach Prince, he's got Alex Tambakis between the sticks. Caitlin Wright and Will Seymour anchoring the back line. You're going to have Chris Wehan in the 10 spot. And up top, it's Sergio Rivas and Nico Brett. On the other side, for Birmingham. You've got Van Okel in goal. He's making his 101st USL Championship appearance. We've got Kavita and Cronali in that back line, as we mentioned earlier. Zach Harava in the midfield. And up top, number 99, the MLS veteran, Juan Agudelo.
I know you've been excited to see Agudelo, one of your heroes from yesteryear, but he doesn't really get the headlines. He's not leading any kind of stats or anything like that, but he's always involved. A real good target forward. You watch how Birmingham play. A lot of it goes through, but like I say, it doesn't maybe get like the ball to the person who scores, but is always involved in the build-up play. A lot of the build-up play does go through him. New Mexico United will have to know where he is and stop the ball into his feet.
And while we've got a moment here before kickoff, let's go ahead and see if we can get to our keys to the match. And they are presented by Garcia Automotive Group. Going to get those up for you here in just a moment. But aside from that, this is the first time, Chris, that these two teams are doing battle here today. It's black and yellow against what's typically black and gold. Birmingham out in their road all red uniforms here today.
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting. Obviously, two of the stingiest defenses in the entire league facing off today. Birmingham Legion only conceded 12 goals all season. 2 clean sheets on the bounce. New Mexico United, the most stingy defense with only 10 goals conceded so far. So like you said earlier, something has to give.
7 games unbeaten for the black and yellow, and first-year head coach Zach Prince. A lot of underlying storylines that we're going to get to here tonight. The first of which being Nico Brett taking on his former club, and also not in the starting 11 tonight for New Mexico, but in the 18, Ford Parker and Nico Brett both spent 2020 and 2021 with Birmingham Legion. Nico Brett made 49 appearances for the club over 2020 and 2021, scoring 27 goals. Ford Parker, on the other hand, did not see as much action, only making 2 appearances for Legion in 2020, while making none in 2021. This one goes back to Rashid Tete. He's being chased by Marlon.
Maybe see an early sign there, a little burst tire there by Rashid Tete, slipped over on the slippery conditions.
And here are your keys to the game, brought to you by Garcia Automotive Group. Here for New Mexico. Find ways to break through Cronali and the back line, be compact and don't get pulled out, and keep the winning streak momentum. This ball falls here into the midfield. That fell to Martinez. Here's Agudelo. Back heels it. That's Harava. And our official is going to signal by way of the black and yellow tonight's injury report. Brought to you by Ben Sherman Law. Injured at work, Ben Sherman can help. Chris, this is a welcome sight for New Mexico fans. Just one name on the injury report, still coming back from that torn ACL, Armando Moreno.
Yeah, it's great news. I remember, the last home game, it was we could have blacked out the entire screen. The list was so long. It's great during warm-up seeing the likes of Austin Yearwood back out on the pitch and made the bench today.
Tambakis facing some pressure there from Agudelo. Agudelo out of Colombia. Over 280 appearances in MLS. New England Revolution for the most part. This is Nico Brett. And Nico Brett, now, this is what I was able to find as I was doing research. Nico Brett, he's been in the USL Championship, obviously, forever. This is his 4th club that he's played for. He's top 10 all-time in goals scored. From what I could tell, this is the first time that Nico Brett has ever played against a former club of his. Tonight's Coach's Spotlight presented by PNM. This is Zach Prince for New Mexico. As we mentioned, his first year as a head coach, riding the 5-game winning streak, which is a club record. Going back 7 games, stretching that unbeaten streak. Nava makes the run as Roof takes a tumble. This one goes to Hamilton in the midfield, the Denver, Colorado native. Hamilton with a couple of appearances in MLS for Colorado Rapids. And what an interesting week this has been, first off, let's say. Obviously, it's Pride Night here. Lots going on. Ton of programming as Weehan tries to chase this one down. He's beaten to the ball by Dean. But New Mexico, we were actually supposed to be here on Wednesday, Chris, as New Mexico was scheduled to face RGV. There was storms, heavy weather impacting the Albuquerque metro area and the surrounding areas that did not allow for a safe field conversion earlier this week. So that match had to be postponed. Second consecutive game for New Mexico that had to be postponed. Just some really tough times. Luckily, the fans obviously showing out here in droves here tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, New Mexico in general has been absolutely desperate for the moisture. So obviously happy, but it does appear that it's all come in 1 week. You know, obviously we had it today as well. You and I were talking earlier on about whether there going to be any issues. Absolutely perfect evening for soccer right now, though.
So Birmingham haven't played for 17 days. Their last match was 2.5 weeks ago. It was on June 8th. Where they played Memphis 901. They won 1-0. That game was delayed in the 7th minute for almost 2 hours due to lightning.
90th minute winner as well. But yeah, it's one of those where that could either be a curse or a gift. You know, with the long rest, they were on a little bit of a run. You know, and hopefully the rest doesn't. If you're a Birmingham fan, it doesn't knock them off their stride.
Second half here of our Coaches Spotlight presented by PNM. This is Tom Sohn, a legendary indoor soccer player. Had a stint at DC United of MLS for 4 years in 2006 to 09, and he's been at the helm of Legion since 2018. It's a resume that screams pedigree, especially in a USL Championship the past 5 seasons. Goes back to Dean. Weehan, he's found his groove lately, which has been massive for New Mexico. Club's all-time leading scorers. This ball's given away. Here comes Agudelo. Agudelo tries to sweep by Seymour, and he's shut out. This ball's going to fall here to James. Plays it back across. Headed away by Swartz. Cross goes in, finds the feet of Agudelo, but the flag on the near side is up, and the black and yellow faithful can breathe easy.
It's only 6 minutes in, but there's already been a couple of little sighters, let's call them, maybe for Birmingham in and around the 18-yard box of New Mexico United, where they just look a little disjointed. There's been a few people falling over. Rashid Tete, I think that was Kalen Ryden, had a blown tyre there as well and went flying in where he just lost his footing. People are definitely struggling a little bit with the pitch conditions. Obviously, us desert dwellers here, we're not necessarily used to this moisture, right?
There were questions throughout the day. Is the game going to be played, or are we going to have to postpone again? Thankfully, the weather has avoided us here for the most part. So we get a quick weather update there at the bottom of your screen. 69 degrees, 68% humidity. I'm willing to go out on a limb and say there's probably about 5 to 10 days a year in New Mexico where the humidity is going to match up with the temperature.
Yeah, like I say, it's a beautiful summer English day right now in the desert.
Here's Seymour. Colorado Springs. Sergio Rivas tries to thread it through to Christian Nava. He does. Nava. Christian Nava scored his first professional goal in the most recent home game for New Mexico. That one was a reschedule played on a Tuesday night across the street at the University of New Mexico against Phoenix Rising, which ended up being a 7-0 win for the Black and Yellow, largest win in club history. Oh, and this one rolls to Weehan. He's got Rivas making the run. Chris Weehan cuts it in, and Weehan, a miscommunication, but it falls to Portillo, and Portillo hits the woodwork. Van Okel was stretched out. I couldn't tell if he got a fingertip on it or not, but that one hit the bar.
Yeah, I think it was a save. I think he just got his fingertips to it. You can see Portillo just eyeing up that far post there. Great effort, and I believe that was a very, very good save.
Justin Portillo, he's been on a hot streak lately. He's got 4 goals, 3 assists in 13 starts, coming off a Player of the Week award As this long ball goes to Harry Swartz here on the near side. Harry Swartz unable to track that down. Swartz also up there with 4 goals in 13 starts this season. And Swartz has been one to capitalize on the fastidious planning on set pieces for Zach Prince, as oftentimes he finds himself all alone there at the back post. As we have a look here at our first TLC replay here tonight, as Weehan perhaps just one too many touches.
Just will do it. He did get a touch. He just gets a touch to push it onto the post there. Van Oekel, that was an absolute tremendous save, because the ball, good players just find where the ball's going to pop out. And you see Portillo's just sniffing around at the top of the box there. Ball just pops out to him. Broken play by Chris Weehan. Ball just pops out to him and ball out from under his feet and just tries to bend it into that bottom far right-hand corner. And great save.
Matt Van Oekel, 6'4", out of Chesapeake, Virginia. Made 27 appearances for 3 Sparks in 2021. He was Legion's Defensive Player of the Year as well, earning himself 9 clean sheets. As this cross goes in, meets the feet of Justin Portillo. It only goes as far as Harivo. Ball goes headed back in from Agudelo, and it's cleared out by Seymour. There's Nava. Nava just gets that one away. Falls to Roof. Now Cronali. Swartz plays this one long, and it goes all the way to Van Oekel. Van Oekel also has some experience playing for OKC Energy in 2018, Real Salt Lake, MLS in 2017. Rivas pokes this one forward. Finds the other Albuquerque native. That's Christian Nava. Back to Weehan. Over to Swartz in space. Harry Swartz able to track that down. Keeps it in play. Hamilton back to Swartz. Tete on the far side. Here's the Ghanaian, Rashid Tete. Looking for the run of Chris Weehan, and that one cut out. New Mexico just taking their time here, Chris.
Much better by New Mexico. You see, leading up to this little period here, though, there was a couple of rushed clearances, really pinned in, but now dominating the ball, dominating possession.
This one falls to Nico Brett. Cronali comes through. Brett is asking for a handball.
He seemed pretty adamant, because, I mean, you know, when you stop dead in your tracks like that, he's convinced that there was a hand in there. Obviously, we couldn't really see from our vantage point, but yeah, much better by New Mexico United. They're controlling the ball, moving it around, trying to pick off the Birmingham back line there, and you know, a couple of passes maybe not coming off, but you can see a few players are really struggling with that turf area just in the Birmingham half there, and really struggling to keep their feet.
Near side, that's Dean. And Dean gets a foot on the clearance there. And Legion almost had something doing. New Mexico able to clear that out. Here's Sergio Rivas. Near the midfield line, has it poked away by Kavita. Here goes Dean again. On the outside, that's Marlone. Shot, and it's off the side netting.
Tell you what, the fans are in for an absolute treat if the game continues at this pace, end to end right now, for the two of the most defensive, you know, hardest to break down teams in the whole USL. There's been a bunch of chances already in this game.
New Mexico with 10 goals conceded, Birmingham with just 12. Incredible stuff that we're seeing here so far through the first 14 minutes. Here's Harry Swartz. And Rivas holds his run.
Going back to what you were saying earlier on, Birmingham have not conceded a goal since May 27th against Red Bull 2. And so it's been 2 1-0 wins, 2 back-to-back clean sheets there. And New Mexico United have only conceded 3 goals in the last 5. Winning the last 3 games 2-1. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Let's say maybe I know I was maybe expecting a little more of a cagey affair to start off here, but maybe it's the conditions are lending themselves to a little more of an open game.
This is Matt Van Oekel. Sends this one long. Van Oekel had 118 games with Minnesota United back when they were in the NASL. He won the 2011 NASL Championship and the 2014 NASL Spring Season title with Minnesota United. You talk about a guy that has plenty of goalkeeping experience under his belt. As I mentioned tonight, his 101st USL Championship appearances. The offside flag is up on Juan Agudelo.
The assistant referee on the near side there, just he had a little think about that one, and I think there was a collective breath held within the stadium, but rightly so, the flag goes up.
Agudelo, 6 starts on the season, 9 appearances in total. He's only got 1 goal, 0 assists. He's played 501 minutes. Looking to find some form here with the 3 Sparks. And also for those of you tuning in over on the East Coast, a pleasant hello from I'm sure what you guys are probably used to weather-wise, a very humid Albuquerque. Thanks for hanging out with us here for some USL Championship action here at the Lab. Back here at the Lab for the first time in 49 days. New Mexico have not played on this pitch since the stoppage time equalizer against Loyal back on May 7th. I mentioned they had the match against Phoenix Rising postponed. It was played across the street at the University of New Mexico Soccer Complex. So not the first home game in 49 days, but the first time we're back here in 49 days. It almost felt like an entire offseason. There's Tete. Plays a ball in, going back post, and Rashid Tete had Van Oekel protecting that corner there.
Yeah, I think it just carried a little further than maybe Van Oekel was expecting there. The altitude maybe caught him off guard a little bit, but Rashid Tete was aiming for the back post. Rivas and Weehan lurking back there. So, but yeah, just nearly caught him off. But I have a question for you, Tyler. Is Alabama East Coast?
It's a lot more east than we are here, I'll tell you that much.
Fair enough. But I'm not sure I would have called it East Coast, but fair enough.
The South. We'll say the South. I will say we do have some season ticket holders that live here in New Mexico that have moved from Alabama. And so prior to the match, I had to stop over at the tailgate. I had some smoked chicken, some white barbecue sauce, which I had no idea was a thing. Apparently it's a northern Alabama thing. And what was called Alabama caviar. I had no idea what that was until it was put on my plate, but I'll tell you what, it was delicious. So if I'm ever out there doing a cuisine tour, I'm definitely making a stop out there.
Sounds bodacious.
It was beautiful. Looking for Agudelo, that's Harry Swartz getting up to head that away. Swartz out of Needham, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston. Came over from Hartford Athletic before the 2021 season. I can tell we're already getting text geography lessons. I imagine this is how the rest of the country feels when they don't know that New Mexico is actually in the United States, right?
That's a rabbit hole if you want to go down that after the week. I saw that tweet that went absolutely viral, right?
This one falls to Harry Swartz. One touches it off to Justin Portillo. Set piece maestro Portillo converting from the penalty spot as well this year. Looking for Weehan on the through ball, and nothing doing on that one. It's going to go out for a goal kick. So while we've got a second, I'd like to give a shout out to Select, celebrating its 75th anniversary. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. Choose what you play with at selectsportamerica.com. Select, league's choice, player's choice.
While you're giving shout-outs, I know last home game that we were together, Tyler, we forgot, and I can't believe we forgot, but, go even further east of Birmingham, Alabama, and we have to give a shout-out to the Dawn Patrol, New Mexico United's very own supporters branch over in Blighty. Yeah,
it's incredible stuff, and their logo is an absolute masterpiece. So if you haven't seen it, get on the Dawn Patrol. I know they're on Twitter. Check them out. The UK supporters group for the black and yellow. And I realize this is the first time that many Birmingham Legion fans may be tuning in, so let me give you an idea of what's going on. They're not cheering for the play that's been going on in the midfield, I promise you that. This is what's called the Magic Minute. This is a tradition that started here at New Mexico United games in the very first season of the club in 2019. They start cheering at the 19-minute 18-second mark. That's to signify when New Mexico became a state. And then they stopped cheering at 2018, and that's to signify when New Mexico United was announced as a club. You see, I said 1918. I meant the 19-minute 12-second mark. As this one gets by, and Birmingham have taken the lead. It's Juan Agudelo scoring his second goal of the campaign, and the visitors on top here in the 21st minute.
Talk about taking the wind out of the stadium right at the end of the magic minute there. And absolute, I wouldn't say complete silence, but it is dampened the crowd a little bit there. Little ball in behind. New Mexico United didn't deal with it. Agudelo had a great matchup and just able to power over the top and nod it home into the bottom corner. It just gets over the top of Rashid Tete. Ball just hangs up, just begging to be headed in there. And I said he's not the top of the stats and things like that at the start of the game. Well, he's made his mark on this game early on.
His second goal in the USL Championship this season, and just adding to his career total, coming into this one with 54 career goals, make that 55. Juan Agudelo also has 28 caps for the U.S. men's national team, scoring 3 times. And that is certainly, as you said, Chris, changed the atmosphere here at the Lab. And New Mexico, they have to be careful here. As you saw, Nava, as he wasn't able to get to that, immediately pulls up, kind of shrugs his head in disgust. If you're New Mexico, you have to keep your head on here. You can't get discombobulated.
Yeah, it's definitely, definitely plenty time left in the game there. And, you just mentioned Christian Nava there. I'd say, him, Sergio Rivas, Chris Weehan, not being able to find the game as much. There was that little period that we talked about where they were knocking the ball around. There was obviously the chance from Portillo. But other than that, there's really struggling to get those game changes. I think Chris Weehan's upturn in form has really matched up with Sergio Rivas coming back into the team. That's just my opinion. There's no data for that, but that's what I think anyway.
What advanced metrics are you looking at? Who's telling you that stuff? We've got some score updates up in the top right corner of your screen. You can see Tulsa on top of Battery 2-1 there in the 52nd minute. Memphis blanking Detroit here in the 51st, 1-0. A little bit of Eastern Conference action out there for you. There goes Rashid Tete. Excellent challenge there from James. Here's Agudelo on a brace. This ball falls to Martinez. Martinez up for Harivo, and what a shoulder there from Will Seymour.
he had to be very careful there. That was, it was perfect shoulder to shoulder, but any kind of nudge in the back there and he would have been looking at a PK. But you can tell none of the Birmingham players even appealed anything they knew. It was just, he was just in a better position, a better body position. He was just stronger in that moment.
And I'm sure the way that Haribo got knocked off his feet, he sure wasn't expecting any contact there. Here's Portillo, the New Orleans, Louisiana native. Swartz. Long ball looking for Christian Nava, and just a little too much on that one.
Almost a little impatient there. Could have done with an extra pass. And we were talking before the game. You were asking about how the moisture may affect the game, and whenever the ball's in the air and when it lands, no idea why this happens, but it picks up speed. Like it's one of those things that I don't understand. I'm no scientist, but yeah. And it just picks up speed. So anytime the ball's in the air there, it has to be inch perfect. There was no way Christian Nava could get on the end of that, because as soon as it hit the ground, it just takes off. You can see Zach Prince right now. He's just come to the edge of his technical area. He's gesticulating that. He wants everyone to calm down and just play.
Seymour pokes this one forward. Agudelo has it poked away from behind by Justin Portillo. Bouncing around there in the midfield, and it's going to be a throw-in to Legion. Two playoff hopefuls meet in the Alamo City as San Antonio FC welcome FC Tulsa. Don't miss a minute of the action Tuesday, June 28th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2. Seymour. Wehan has sunk all the way back to get a touch there. And this is something that we've been able to pick up on over the past couple of years, calling these New Mexico United games, Chris. When Wehan is not getting the involvement that he's used to, he finds himself sinking all the way to the back line, and that is, in my opinion, where he's least effective for New Mexico.
Yeah, and you can see, he just drops in, but good players find ways to get into the game if that's what he has to do, and that's the way that maybe New Mexico United get higher up the field, because they really are struggling to get the ball in and around, the final third there. There's not a whole lot of possession. They've had a lot of the ball here and around the midfield third, and then it comes to these long balls because they're just getting a little frustrated, and there it just picks up pace, takes off, and out it goes. Has to be inch perfect. Again, getting a little frustrated, a little impatient. Need to find that extra pass.
Well, and as you mentioned, Birmingham Legion, it's almost been 2 full calendar months since they've conceded a goal in the run of play.
I mean, they haven't played in 20 of the 20 days of it, but I get your point. Yeah, I mean, certainly Phoenix and Memphis couldn't break them down. It's been Red Bull 2 were the last team to score on them. So it's a tough nut to crack.
There goes Roof. He gets by Christian Nava, still in possession. Wehan comes away with a key interception. Here's Portillo now. Martinez on his heels. Seymour over to the Oklahoma native, Kalen Ryden. Here's Wehan. He's looking for Rivas with the curling ball into the box. And this long ball hit to Agudelo. He's got space. Ryden closes in. Agudelo here lays it off for Haribo. Now back to Dean. Here's James. One touch. And Tete does well defensively to keep him out.
Really good forward play by Agudelo there. He had to get that tackle right there. But Agudelo there, where he just peeled off the shoulder of Kalen Ryden and bent his run, just held his run to keep himself onside. Inch perfect ball out to him as well.
Van Okel sends this one long. He said, had to get that challenge right. It was Lopez that came in flying at Nava. a tough challenge, but ruled fair by the official.
Still see the chunk he's taken out the turf from up here. He's definitely was committed. I think that's the word that you use.
Hamilton goes to ground. Martinez in disbelief that the foul was called. This is going to be a Fiesta Auto Group free kick. Seymour. Seymour spent his last 2 seasons over in the First Division in Ireland, playing 2020 with Sligo Rovers and then 2021 with Finn Harps. Made 46 appearances over those 2 years. Scored 2 goals, both of those coming last season for Finn Harps. And what a touch there from Lopez. Finds Harivo. Goes far side to James. Harivo again. Cross going in. Agudelo back post. Touches it to Martinez. And it's 2-0. Birmingham have taken a 2-0 lead in the 30th minute. And it is dead silent here at the Lab. What a goal for the visitors.
It's been coming. We talked about before even the first goal, we talked about how the back line in New Mexico United just didn't look together. And Birmingham Legion were having some joy putting balls into the box, and they were able to get it. And the extra pass. Agudelo had every right to go for goal for himself there. Instead, just squares it back to Martinez, and Martinez makes no mistake at all.
So Martinez finds the back of the net here in the 30th minute. 2 goals in the last 9 minutes for the visitors. And New Mexico shell-shocked here early on.
Yeah, and since Portillo's shot hit the post, really there's been no real threat that Van Oekel's had to deal with, to be quite honest. So, while I think Birmingham Legion have been absolutely ruthless with the chances they've had, it's not like they've created a ton of chances. They've had a few half chances, had maybe the territorial advantage, but when they've had a chance, they've put it away.
And goals are brought to you by Enterprise Builders, built on a foundation of trust for over 30 years. Well, it's 2-0 to the visitors in red here today. And New Mexico, they're going to be keeping this unbeaten streak alive. They're going to have to change things because it's not all honky-dory out there on the pitch right now, Chris.
You said it. It's, it absolutely. I mean, 30 minutes in and quite clearly it's not working. For whatever reason today, this is not working. So Zach Prince, you can see he's scribbling down on his notepad on the bench right now. I wouldn't be surprised if there's maybe a tweak before halftime with the players who are already on the pitch, or very much as soon as they come out the second half, I would not be surprised whether it's a change in personnel or a change in shape, because again, like I said, Van Oekel pulled off that unbelievable save. Could have been 1-0 the other way, and how different the game might have looked if that had snuck in. But since then, really, New Mexico United haven't laid a finger on Birmingham.
Well, and this is an interesting part of the match, right? Like, you're New Mexico. You're coming in riding a 5-game winning streak. You feel like everything's gelling at the correct time. You're finding your groove, and then all of a sudden, you're down 2-0 in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's a test. It's going to see, obviously, when things are going well, it's easy to be harmonious and kind of, work with each other and not see any cracks or anything like that. But right now, you can see that's the second time Christian Nava's been just pushed off the ball in midfield. That physicality in midfield there is he's just struggling to handle it right now.
Agudelo, a goal and an assist so far this evening. And we talked about his track record. This is a player that just oozes class in and around the penalty box. As you said, he could have easily scored that second goal by himself.
Yeah, he didn't have to, make that extra pass there. But, really calm head in that, the crazy situation within the 6-yard box there. But yeah, could have gone for goal there and had a really good chance, but saw the open man. And to be fair, Martinez still had a little bit to do. He sat Kalen Ryden down, but made him bite on the initial feint and then just buried it. I think he went through Tambakis' legs.
Tambakis came into this one with 27 saves was tied for 14th, had 7 goals conceded, will make that 9. We are just 34 minutes into this one. And Ryden starting to show some frustration.
He's begging his teammates to move ahead of him. He's just looking for an option. You can see his arms out, palms up, just just embodies frustration right now. And you can see that in every single New Mexico United player out there.
Hamilton finds Swartz. Rivas. Rivas is taken out, and it's going to be a Fiesta Auto Group free kick coming up here for New Mexico. And this in a very dangerous position for the black and yellow.
Be a great time to get a foothold in the game, and obviously this is a huge moment for New Mexico United, because they haven't been able to test Van Oekel nearly as much as what they would have liked. So they have to try and get something on target here. They have to try and force this very stingy defense to defend.
And I feel like this one here is perfectly set up for Portillo. As you can see, he and Weehan both standing over it. Portillo, really a dual threat. He can go for goal or he can put one on the back post here. It is Justin Portillo, and it's headed away by Cronali. Momentarily, Harivo, now Ryden, gets a touch. Agudelo heads it away. Here's Martinez, scoops it forward for Agudelo. The offside flag is up anyway. And Agudelo, or not Agudelo, excuse me, that's Marlon, ran straight into Alex Tambakis.
I think there was a little skullduggery there. Tambakis just left his shoulder in and made sure that if Malone was going to come in again, he absolutely will think twice about it. He got every bit of him there. But goalkeepers are a protected breed, and he had every right to do that, to protect his penalty area. And I'm sure that's a little frustration that he's letting out as well. Tambakis, he doesn't concede this many goals in a game. It's been a long time since New Mexico United conceded 2 in a game.
And Alex Tambakis, you mentioned the frame. 6'3" is Alex Tambakis. Obviously, if you're that big, you're probably not going to be the thinnest guy in the world if you're a professional athlete.
Yeah, and he's built. And the problem for Malone is he didn't see him coming. He didn't see it coming. I think he knew that Tambakis was close, but he didn't expect him to still be there when he got there, because his eyes were on the ball. So I think he kind of got caught a little off guard as well. So maybe he wasn't protecting himself. That's why it maybe caught him a little bit worse than he could.
Maggie Campanaro, the head athletic trainer, just checks on Marlon, and he seems to be okay. Marlon out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I always thought it's cool how Brazilians go by their first name. Marlon Santos is his name. Here's Swartz. Cross going in, back post. And Rivas was rising, unable to beat Kavita to the ball there.
That was a little better than I like the early delivery there. It really didn't give Legion a chance to get set in their defensive shape, so the ball out wide kind of stretched them, and then the early delivery, Rivas has to, he's got good hops, but that back line of Legion's big.
Yeah.
There's some big boys back there, so it has to be another inch perfect ball for them to be able to capitalize on that.
Sergio Rivas picked up his first assist of the season last Wednesday against Oakland Roots. That was in the 69th minute. And the pass before that from Christian Nava to Sergio Rivas was a thing of beauty. As you said earlier, Christian Nava came in and totally changed that game. Here's Rivas, flicks it on. Cronali gets in front of Nico Brett.
Cronali just an absolute masterclass in reading the game there. He was where the ball was going to drop before the ball knew it was going to drop there. Absolutely brilliant way. You can see Nico Brett, I think he's trying to get away from him. And Cronali's just marshalling that defense to perfection.
Well, and you talk about the Brett-Cronali matchup. These two were teammates at Legion the past 2 seasons, so imagine day in, day out, those training sessions going against each other. These two probably know each other like the back of their hands.
Yeah, for sure.
Nico Brett seeking his first goal against a former club. So Nico, as we mentioned previously, played for Birmingham Legion. Prior to that was with Riverhounds, and prior to that with Portland Timbers 2. Also has one appearance for Portland Timbers in the MLS as well. Seymour over to Portillo. Swartz, picked up by Marlon. Great ball going to the back post. How that got through everybody, I have no idea, but it's going to be a goal kick here for the Three Sparks.
And you can see there, it's just much better by New Mexico United. A little more patient. Build starts out on the right side, move it out to their left side. Another cross into the box, which again, it's not necessarily, Nico Brett up against those big centre-backs, but he managed to pull off Cornalia and onto Cavita, and there was a little bit of trouble there, so you can see that's maybe where New Mexico United are going to find some joy, where they get those early crosses in, if Nico Brett, if Sergio Rivas, if Chris Rehan can pull off onto the right defender.
Agudelo is going to be called for the bump there. The foul on Kalen Ryden. This brings us to another Fiesta Auto Group free kick. Cornali tries to rip that one. Generous bounce back to New Mexico. Here's Rivas. Tries to cross it in, and it's headed away by Cavita. Martinez spreads it to James. And James tried to nutmeg Tete. No luck. Wehan got a foot to that pass. It still falls to Harivo.
One thing I'd like to see maybe New Mexico United try next time, they keep getting the ball in decent areas in that wide channel outside the 18-yard box there, but then they're trying to play a diagonal cross from deep. I'd love to see them drive the end line, get in behind that Legion back line and put a ball hard and low, test them, make defenders make decisions.
James. Harivo lays it off for Agudelo, gets it right back. Roof. Goes to Martinez. Was looking for Martinez. It's going to fall to Dean. Back to Martinez now. Back to Dean. Great little give and go. The cross goes in. Actually, it was a shot. Tambakis saves it. Harivo sends it over the crossbar. And New Mexico again put under pressure in their own 18.
Harivo just never really looked like he was confident that was going to go in the back there. That was a chance. And he had to hit it on the half volley. The ball was coming up off the bounce there, so you have to get over it. You have to try and keep it down, and it was always rising. But that's another one where Harry Schwartz was just pulled out into that wide channel, and they're able to just slot in the space behind him, So, again, New Mexico United's back line, 6s and 7s back there.
Looking for Nico Brett. That ball skips forward ahead of Cavita. Fans, don't miss a minute of the action in 2022. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN Plus, the home to the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Here's James. Was looking for Harivo, and it looked like Tete was able to get a touch on that. Wehan making the run. And what a ball hit forward. And again, Chris, as you mentioned, the ball hitting the turf and just speeding off.
It just takes off, yeah. And that was a great ball. Any other New Mexico evening, that's probably a great ball. But tonight, those balls are so hard. Where again, it's that extra pass. New Mexico United maybe trying to be a little bit too direct. Again, impatient maybe in that moment. Although it was on.
Yeah,
it was on. It's just, the technique or the conditions just don't allow for that kind of pass tonight.
.43rd minute, Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on hand at the lab. It's Pride on the Pitch night, presented by PNM and Avangrid together for Clean Energy Now. And it is been a fantastic performance here for the visitors, scoring twice in the opening half hour, stunning the fans here at the Lab. It's their first home match in over a month.
The fans have turned out as well, right? Especially, it's been dump and rain pretty much all afternoon, late morning, early afternoon. So we were worried. We were talking maybe there might be a few people who were decided to stay away. It's definitely cooler than what we used to in June in New Mexico. So the monsoon is well and truly here.
Nava lets that one run on, and it's cut out by Roof. Gets it right back from James. Looking for Nico Brett now. Here's Nico Brett in the 18. Nava. Oh, and what a spin move from Christian Nava, just unable to maintain possession. Ryden with an excellent touch. Here comes Harry Swartz now, and Swartz taken out. Foul is called. Martinez once again. He's got to be careful. That's his third by my count.
Yeah, and in his reaction afterwards as well, it's I think it's great that the referee's allowing them to play, I guess, but with his reaction there, he certainly could have had a word. But there you can see New Mexico United had a couple of men over at the back post as well, but their first chance, Nico Brett pulls way out wide, gets isolated against Roof there, and pulls it to Nava. Little magic from Nava that didn't quite come off, but it got the crowd going.
Free kick is headed away there by Legion. Ryden is fouled. Herava is whistled. That's going to bring us to another Fiesta Auto Group free kick.
Used all his experience there, Caelan Ryden. He really had nowhere to go, so just dug his heels in, waited for the contact and flew down there. So really well played by Caelan Ryden.
So into the 45th minute we are. There's 1 minute of New Mexico Piñon coffee stoppage time. Great coffee, Chris, is a matter of opinion. Here's Portillo giving the signal. Portillo goes back post. Ryden's making the run, and it's headed away there by Kavita. This is the first corner kick of the match coming up here right now. Corner kicks are brought to you by Bank of America. With over 4,600 locations, convenient banking is just around the corner. Here's Portillo. New Mexico would love to get one back here as Nava tried to put one on frame. As it poked away, does Nava, and I don't think there was a whole lot doing there.
I assume he's given a throw in because I certainly don't think it's, but there's a little bit of a kerfuffle going on down in the corner now. There's people not happy. All of the referees are over now as well. It doesn't even look, I don't know why everyone was converging over there. It really wasn't anything going on.
No, not at all. Interesting, to say the least. So that's the end of the first half. First 45 in the books. It's going to end on that right there. So Birmingham coming out scoring twice in the opening 30 minutes. Chris, real quick, your take on that first half.
Frustration for New Mexico United. Absolutely, game plan to a T executed by Birmingham Legion.
So it is halftime. The score is 2-0, presented by First Financial Credit Union. As we have a look here at some of these first half highlights there, the assist from Agudelo, the second goal scored by Martinez. Halftime brought to you by Smith's, fresh for everyone. We'll be back on the other side of this.
For over 50 years, BIOS has been proudly serving New Mexico. We love being a part of this community and the New Mexico United family, and helping everyone from homeowners to home builders create a space that's both beautiful and practical. Shopping local is about more than getting a great deal. It's about supporting your community, your neighbors, your friends. Visit BIOS in Albuquerque and see how shopping local supports your New Mexico community.
There is a place where there are no roads, no conveyances beyond 2 legs or 4. It's a vast swath of land set aside for adventure, for animals, for nature. We're visitors here in America's first designated wilderness, the Gila.
Blazing the trail, I be feeling like Dame. I feel like EA cause I'm in the game. You rappers do anything for the fame. Not like you rappers be lame. They do a whole lot of talking, but better disrespectful when all of them speaking my name. You cannot walk in my shoes for a minute. I look in your eyes and see we not the same. Blazing the trail, I be feeling like Dame. I feel like EA cause I'm in the game. You rappers do anything for the fame. Not like you rappers be lame. They do a whole lot of talking, but better disrespectful when all of them speaking my name. You cannot walk in my shoes for a minute. I look in your eyes and see we not the same. I'm on the way to the top, yeah. Dripping, I need me a mop, yeah. I'm when it caught the Balenci now. I need to pull the charger out the lot, yeah. Lately been praying a lot, yeah. I'm still thanks up to God, yeah. I cannot help but to turn when I think of all the blessings I got. I'm still a young kid from New Mexico, just trying to make something out of my life. I see too many real ones slipping, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm moving right.
Welcome back here to the lab, ladies and gentlemen. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here. It is a cool, rainy evening in Albuquerque. It is 2-0 here at the break. Halftime presented by Smith's, fresh for everyone. As we've got plenty to get into here on this halftime break, Chris, we've got the P&M Power Kick going on down below. Some subs just came out. Let's go ahead and get into the standings as we look here at the Western Conference. San Antonio jumping to the top of the standings following their big 1-0 win over Switchbacks just last night. New Mexico in third, followed by Lights, who also picked up a big victory last night over Phoenix. San Diego Loyal in fifth, Locomotive in sixth, and Sac Republic hovering just above the playoff line. As you see, New Mexico all the way down to Sac Republic, even on 25 points. News and notes here. New Mexico, as we mentioned earlier, the match on Wednesday was postponed due to weather impacting the field conversion. That was postponed just for 2 weeks. We're going to be right back here Wednesday, July 6th, 7 p.m. Mountain Time kickoff. Also around the club here in New Mexico, launching their 2022 Pride Collection with 20% of all net proceeds benefiting the Transgender Resource Center of New Mexico. And last but not least, the Black and Yellow continuing their winning streak, stretching it to 5. It's a club record as they beat Oakland Roots 2-1 just a week and a half ago. Also coming up, we've got the schedule here. As you see, Hartford Athletic doing some cross-conference battle with Switchbacks. You've got San Antonio and FC Tulsa doing battle there as well. Red Bulls 2 taking on Riverhounds, and Loyal hosting Orange County. Moving right along here. Got the some scores from around the league. San Antonio drawing with Roots 1-1. Sac Republic blanking Los Dos 2-0. Memphis 901 going 2-0 over FC Tulsa. And Loyal falling to Lights 2-1. Those were scores from last weekend there. We've also got the upcoming schedule here for the Black and Yellow. So we mentioned New Mexico. They've been away from home for a long time. We've got a slew of matches coming up here at the lab. They are going to be on the road at Monterey Bay, the newcomers, on the 2nd, just a week away from today, I believe. Then we've got a doubleheader here at the lab against RGV on the 6th and the 9th. That's a Wednesday, Saturday, back-to-back against the Toros. And then New Mexico making the trip out to face FC Tulsa. This is your team of the week. A little bit of Black and Yellow in there is Rashid Tete, Sergio Rivas making the team as well, as there you see from Switchbacks, Haji Berry, Nishi Galina as well. So plenty going on here. Again, this is halftime presented by Smith's, fresh for everyone. We'll be back at the end of this break.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
I'm on that routine. I'm on that routine.
San Antonio FC has leveled at 1. Puts it in! San Antonio FC opens their account.
What a save for! He kept it out!
FC Tulsa do get on the score sheet. Here, a shot comes fired in, and it's curled into the back of the net. And a shot and a goal! Joaquin Rivas!
Welcome back to the lab here, ladies and gentlemen. It is Pride on the Pitch night presented by PNM and Avangrid together for Clean Energy Now. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here, as let's have a look at the halftime stats and see how the first 45 played out. Birmingham on top, of course, 2-0, scoring twice in the opening half hour, notching 7 shots, 3 of those on target compared to just 1 apiece for New Mexico. But you look at the possession, Chris, and that just tells you how clinical Legion have been with their chances.
Efficient. Yeah, like how efficient they have been, the possession there. I would not have guessed that much of a disparity between the possession. But yeah, 7 shots, 3 on target, and 2 of them in the back of the net. Yeah, absolutely clinical.
It's been an interesting affair here as you see Legion also with 3 offside calls against them. New Mexico picking up a yellow card there late in the first half. So we'll do our best to find out who that went on. Let's have a look here at the first half highlights presented by Will Ferguson and Associates. We're here for you, and we're here to win. Starting off first here, Chris, this one looked like it was going to get things started for New Mexico as Wehan made the run, and then Portillo got a shot on frame hitting the woodwork.
Yeah, what a save there by Van Oekel. Just tips it onto the post. It just pops out. You can see it's a broken play. Chris Wehan trying to pop it through to Rivas, who was offside, so it's lucky it didn't get there. And Portillo just gobbles up the pole at the top of the box, knows where the ball's going to pop out, puts it right in the corner. Full extension, great save.
Portillo with 7 goal involvements in 13 starts this season. And that comes by way of 4 goals and 3 assists. So he's been in form lately, so you certainly expect that. And that was the best angle that we've had at that so far. As you can see, Van Oekel definitely gets a fingertip to it at least to push it onto the bar. And this quick strike for the visitors. It's Juan Agudelo in the 21st minute.
Yeah, just get the matchup right at the back post. Ball just hung up back there right at the end of the magic minute. So right when New Mexico United fans were on their feet, and it just sucked the life out of the building.
Agudelo, that's his 2nd goal for Birmingham Legion this season. As we mentioned, the MLS veteran also has some caps and goals for the U.S. men's national team. And this was the 2nd goal for Legion, an assist for Agudelo, helping Martinez there in the 30th minute as the visitors make it 2-0.
Yeah, Agudelo there could have easily gone for goal there, and it would have been a tough save for Tambakis if he'd gone, but just spots it and just pops it back. And still plenty to do there for Martinez, but gets Kalen right into bite, sits him down in the slippery conditions and pops it through his legs.
You can see Martinez fired up, as most visiting teams are when they score here at the lab, and this was a big save from Alex Tambakis as things could have gotten completely out of control had that one gone in.
Yeah, and it's the old cliche, right? 2-0, the hardest score to defend, things like that. But if that had gone in and made it 3-0, you'd fear it would have been game, set, and match if you were New Mexico United.
Well, we're going to step aside here for just a moment. We've got just a few minutes left here in halftime, so stick around. We'll be back with the second 45 in just a moment.
For over 45 years, we have been roofing New Mexico. Even though you may not know it, you have been covered by one of our roofs at some point. Now, bringing the same high-quality craftsmanship that protects New Mexico's commercial buildings into the residential marketplace. Get a commercial quality roof on your home today. National Roofing, local company, national name.
Call 883-3000 or visit nationalroofing.com.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive.
Babe, it's 8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
Game time.
As a first-generation college student, I didn't have the guidance needed to navigate through college, but CNM made that easy for me, and they helped me every step of the way. What makes CNM special is that no matter what your interest is in, they're bound to have it here. You're looking for a certificate and associates or even some kind of training, they're going to have that flexibility for you. My time at CNM has showed me that I can dream bigger than what I ever thought I could for myself. At CNM, you're not just a student, you're part of the family.
Welcome back here to the lab. Pride on the pitch night. Here's we're expecting near 11,000 fans here tonight. As it was a rainy day, a wet day, but that did not stop the black and yellow faithful from showing out in droves. Tyler Ortega here alongside Chris Hurst. And Chris, we've got about 90 seconds before this second half gets underway. If you're Zach Prince, what's the team talk at halftime?
I think they need to calm down. They need to, while obviously 2-0, it's a mountain to climb. It's not insurmountable though. And patience. Patience is going to be the key. If it doesn't happen early, they need to keep on going. I felt like in the first half, New Mexico United got a little desperate too early and started just pumping balls into the 18-yard box. And big centre-backs just love heads and volleys. And I think the ball on the ground, moving the ball quickly, getting the tempo right, I think that's going to be the key to the second half if you're New Mexico United.
So it looks like we've got some substitutions here for New Mexico. Substitutions brought to you by RADW CPAs and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity. So 2 subs entering the match here for New Mexico. Entering is Preston Tabordataka, the forward, and also defender Austin Yearwood. Exiting the match, defender Rashid Tete and forward Christian Nava. What do you think about the changes, Chris?
Not surprising. We talked about it on the 30th minute. He said that wouldn't be surprised if there was a little tweak before halftime in terms of with the personnel that's already on there, but definitely wouldn't be surprised if we saw a change. And great to see Austin Yearwood back. Harry Schwartz has just switched onto the right side there, a little more natural for him as well with his right foot. So just a little more balanced, I think. Preston obviously jumping up top. I think this is the formation that while New Mexico United went through their little sticky patch, the Nico Brett, Preston with Chris Weehan behind, they really struggled, but that was when they played 3 at the back. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that works with 4 at the back, with the flying fullbacks of Yearwood and Schwartz.
Schwartz immediately fouled. Just over 20 seconds into the second half, and New Mexico take the free kick quickly. Here's Kalen Ryden, Justin Portillo. Nava subbed off for Zach Prince. Had a brief moment of brilliance there as he got one touch, did a lovely pirouette, almost able to maintain possession there, but unfortunately it got away from him. And from what I recall, that was just before the end of the first half, as
It was, but it took until that moment for us to really say anything positive, you know,
Right.
in terms of contribution. It's a really physical game in the centre of the park there, and he got pushed off the ball a little bit, and I mean, I'm sure that's by design, right? Like Birmingham Legion probably know if you let this kid get his touch and get running at you, he's going to cause you trouble, and they just really did not allow him to do that. Really well done to shut him down, and unfortunately, I'm not surprised to see him pulled at half-time.
Nava, the teenager Albuquerque native, the first player to come through the United Academy system and make his professional debut for the club. He scored his first professional goal against Phoenix Rising just over a month ago. Added a couple of assists as well on the season, and he's really been finding his groove. I'm sure tonight is going to go down as a learning experience in the short career thus far, as that one gets to Martinez, and a couple of touches, it's going to be out for a goal kick.
And it is, and that's part of growing up within the game. You know, he'll be better for this experience, because the one thing that young players tend to really struggle with is consistency. And yeah, the impact he made off the bench last week, complete night and day compared to how he was able to impact the game today. And yeah, it has to go down. He has to put that down to experience and learn from it. And he's going to be around for the long haul, I'm sure.
What a touch there from Tom Sohn on the touch line. They said in the P&M Coaches Spotlight, the legendary indoor player. Still got, the touch never leaves you, right?
I wouldn't know. I've never had one. You can't lose something you've never had.
Here's Preston. Cameroonian. Seen his first action here this evening in Preston. And that's exactly what you were saying New Mexico needs to do, is get down to the end line and put these crosses in.
I really do think that's okay, just because that's so much more awkward. If New Mexico United can get a ball in between the goalkeeper and the centre-backs, driven hard and low, and you make defenders make a decision, do they deal with it? It could go in, because then as a defender, it's terrifying when you're running back towards your own goal. But the diagonal crosses from the corner of the box are just meat and drink for you know, units that they have, that Birmingham Legion have at the back, where heads and volleys, they can just eat that up all day.
Cronali and Kavita both back there. Cronali 6'5", listed at 6'5". Kavita listed at 6'1". Nothing doing there as Marlone goes to ground.
I think Marlone just wanted to fall down before he went anywhere near Tambakis again, huh?
Yeah, it took quite the shot from Tambakis in the first half. And there's another shot there. Harry Swartz goes to ground. James called for the foul. There's Seymour. William Seymour, 12 starts this season. Leads the team in clearances coming into this match with 43.
I'm not sure Nico Brett's going to have much more joy in the second half here if Seymour keeps pumping balls up there. It was a pretty good stiff arm in the back, but that's not really what's going to get it done, I don't think, for New Mexico United tonight.
Score update out of El Paso. Locomotive on top, 3-0. Under 40 minutes. I believe that's Red Bulls 2 they're playing here tonight. Marlone goes back to Dean. And it's Red Bulls 2 down at Southwest University Park. Monterey Bay and Sac Republic should have kicked off just a few minutes ago, as well as San Diego and Indy 11. Also Oakland hosting Atlanta United 2. So lots of interconference play going on here this weekend. Not just this match that you're watching here, but also those two that I mentioned taking place out in California, in San Diego and Oakland. The ball was hit with quite the pace towards Nico Brett.
It was. I hope as he sent it, he said, "Deal with that." But yeah, absolutely fizzed at his head.
We mentioned we are celebrating Pride on the Pitch night here this evening at the Lab. Also like to remind you that the USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ plus community. Through the Forever Proud project, the USL strives to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, staff, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/foreverproud. Here's Portillo. Seymour now just scoops this one forward. And so we mentioned earlier we were expecting a large crowd here tonight. I was ballparking about 11,000. We have the official numbers in. This is the largest crowd here at the Lab since 2019. 12,547 fans in attendance here tonight. Not bad for a good old English summer day, right, Chris?
And who said people from New Mexico melted in the rain, right?
Marlone goes to ground, and it's a Fiesta Auto Group free kick coming up here for Legion. 12,547 fans here tonight. Absolutely incredible showing from the black and yellow faithful, as always. Pride on the Pitch, routinely one of the higher attended nights here throughout club history. The last time we were here at the Lab, they played San Diego Loyal. That was in early May. 12,079 were on hand. That was the previous high on the season. New Mexico going at 400, almost 500 more. Math is hard. I can't do it that fast.
I was loving waiting to see how you dug yourself out of that one.
Yeah, I tried to. The math just wasn't mathing, and let's just round it up, right?
Math wasn't mathing. It's another good one.
Kernali goes back to Van Oekel. And Van Oekel pulls a double duty with the club. As you look at their match notes that they send over from official club communications, their goalkeeper coach is Matt Van Oekel.
Are you trying to say that's why he's picked?
Is that what you're saying?
No. Not based on that save in the first half. Nope.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, that's it. He's had really one thing to do this whole game, and he did it very, very well.
We've got a foul called as looks like Lopez goes to ground. Mikey Lopez out of Mission, Texas. Lopez making 27 appearances for Legion last season. Mexican-American, he scored twice last year. Also had 4 assists. So the foul is going to go against Sergio Rivas, and it's a Fiesta Auto Group free kick. It looks like New Mexico could be seeing their third substitution here momentarily. Ball played in. It's James. And very lucky there is Harivo unable to redirect that on frame.
I think when he sees that back, I think I think he should have done a little better there. It ended up being a free header. How anyone gets a free header 6 yards out, that is the concerning thing if you're New Mexico United. But yeah, that was definitely a warning shot. That could have been game over right there.
Here's Preston. back to Hamilton. Hamilton, one of the vice captains here for the club. Josh Suggs has been the captain through the entirety of club history as Las Cruces native dealing with some injuries. As this one makes its way to Rivas, and Van Oekel has to react quickly. A little bit of a spark there for New Mexico.
Yeah, it came from, Seymour had the ball on his foot for a good 20 seconds there. I don't know, time stood still, right? And finally, because there was no movement, you could see he's gesturing like, where's the movement ahead of the ball? And finally, the run from deep from Rivas, which is really hard to pick up for any defense, is the run from deep. So, and it was a great ball, pinpoint accuracy. So it took the turf, took the wet grass out of the play, and he was able to bring it out. Just wasn't quite able to bring it under his control.
Here's Roof, goes back to Kavita. Harivo. Marlon. Here comes the Brazilian. Rivas tries to get in front of him. Unable to. Agudelo gets a touch. Ball still alive, and offside is the call. Flag goes up on the far side on Marlon. So another substitution here for New Mexico, brought to you by REDW CPAs and Advisors. There's no substitution for Integrity. Harry Swartz is subbed off, replaced by the Englishman Daniel Bruce.
Be interesting to see whether Daniel Bruce just slots in at right back. It looks like that's where he's going now, or whether there's going to be a slight change in formation. Maybe they'll try and go three at the back with Yearwood coming back into a back three. We'll see how that plays out over the next few minutes here, but initially it looks like Bruce is just going to jump right in at right back. And again, it's the changes that were made at halftime haven't really changed the game yet. So, Zach Prince trying to be proactive and trying to get a foothold in this game. Just one goal for New Mexico United could really make the difference. And there's still plenty of time to do it as well.
'59th minute here at the Lab. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst, alongside 12,547 of the black and yellow faithful here tonight. A cool, breezy evening in Albuquerque. Lehan with a timely interception. Portillo now. Up to Brett. Nico Brett, 5 goals on the USL Championship season. That's the most for the black and yellow. A few players tied for second for the club with 4. Rivas finds Preston. Preston just has 1 goal on the season. And Preston sends that one into the picnic pavilion.
That was better though, New Mexico United. So for once, Portillo was surveying the situation, and Nico Brett checks in, gets the ball into his feet, bounces it back to Portillo. That forces Birmingham Legion backline to step up a little bit, creates the space then for the ball to go in behind for Rivas. Rivas isolated into Preston, and Preston does enough to work the angle for himself, but it's like I say, encouragement if you're New Mexico United.
Here's Hamilton, 1 touch, finds Brett Weehan now. Weehan was bracketed by 2 defenders, and it was Dean that ended up coming away with it. And Daniel Bruce is called for the foul. Bruce has 3 assists on the season. Made 13 appearances, make that 14 with his appearance tonight. He scored once. Made 6 starts for Zach Prince. And Bruce is one of just 5 players that have been on the roster here since day 1. The other 4 being Austin Yearwood, Sam Hamilton, Rashid Tete, and Josh Suggs. Zach Prince, the gaffer on the touchline, he too has been here since day 1. Started off with the club as the first assistant coach, taking over as the gaffer once Troy Lesane departed following last season. Lesane now applies his trade with New York Red Bulls as an assistant coach in MLS. And Bruce gets a touch to that, and it's going to be a goal kick. And that's exactly what Daniel Bruce does for New Mexico United.
It could be something, yes, as simple as that as a tackle one. Just like I say, just a little spark that New Mexico United are looking for. And just thinking as well, you know, Justin Portillo, Sam Hamilton. I feel like the reason New Mexico United are struggling to get the ball to their forwards is the midfield right now. The midfield battle is well and truly being won by Legion. They're just dominating then and just stifling any kind of possession game that New Mexico United would want to build there. The players who've touched the ball more than anyone else are the centre-backs. It's Kalen Ryden and Seymour for New Mexico United, and that's probably what Birmingham Legion want.
Well, and Legion have not conceded in their last 2 games played. Looking to make that 3 in a row. They're able to preserve the clean sheet here tonight. Here's Martinez. Agudalo's asking for it. Dean. Marlon now. Far side, he's marked by Austin Yearwood. And the length of Austin Yearwood, you could see Marlon try to get the cross off, and immediately Yearwood sticks his leg out. Marlon thinks better of it. This one's out for a corner kick. Bank of America corner kick coming up here for the visitors. 2-0 here to Birmingham. Juan Agudelo scoring in the 21st minute and then assisting the goal scored by Martinez just 9 minutes later. Here's the corner kick. It's James. James going back post. Harivo. Cornali. Kavita. And goes to Alex Tambakis. Kalen Ryden. Ryden making his 9th appearance this season, his 55th for New Mexico in USL Championship play, as that ball given away by Hamilton. Here comes Harivo. And the shot goes over the crossbar.
There's been a few of those from Sam Hamilton today, and yeah, it's not been his night. You know, there's been some unforced errors where he's just given the ball away really cheaply, which is very, very unlike him in midfield there. Like I say, just not his night. And as soon as that ball was given away there, Zach Prince was gesturing to one of the subs over there. So I feel like Hamilton's night may be coming to a close here.
Nico Brett runs that one down, makes Van Okel come out to gather that one up. And it looks like we may be seeing another sub, as you mentioned, Chris. And from what I can tell, looking down at the technical area, it looks like we're going to be seeing the veteran Michael Azira coming on for New Mexico. Over 130 appearances in MLS under his belt. He's made 5 appearances, 4 of those as a substitute this season. The official calling Agudelo over just to have a brief word. You were just mentioning, Chris, it's not exactly the best night for Sam Hamilton, and it looks as though Hamilton's night is finished, as he's going to take off the captain's armband, pass it along to Kalen Ryden, and Hamilton will be replaced by Michael Azira.
Yeah, and like I say, there's just sometimes you just say it's just not their night, and you know, the one thing that Sam Hamilton is normally very good at is ball security, and again tonight it just hasn't been his night. A little bit like what we talked about with Christian Nava earlier as well, you know, and that's something that I alluded to earlier was as well, like New Mexico United really struggling to get their forwards in the game because their midfield need to be on the ball more. So I know if you're Zach Prince, you're hoping that Michael Azira using his experience to be able to find the game a little better and really bring the ball under control and get those forwards involved in the game as well.
Michael Azira was involved in some late game magic last season here at the Lab against Switchbacks, where he scored his first goal in black and yellow in stoppage time off a corner. That was to equalize. New Mexico scoring again in stoppage time, wrapping up a 2-1 win over Switchbacks. But Azira, well, he's been involved in some dramatic moments so far as Rivas run down from behind. The foul is called. Lopez, I believe, is going to be booked now. So Lopez is shown a yellow card here in the 67th minute. Yellow cards are brought to you by Wendy's. If there's a yellow card, New Mexico United fans receive a free breakfast sandwich at participating locations. But make sure to cash that in tomorrow, as Mikey Lopez goes into the book here in the 67th minute. So we get a quick score update from El Paso, 4-0 at the break. Locomotive on top of Red Bulls 2. Can't watch the match? Turn on it, SiriusXM FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more. All on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SXM app. Looks like we've got a sub coming in here for the visitors. So subbing on here is midfielder Anderson Asiadu, as he replaces Marlon.
Asiadu coming on the back of his late win last time out. I was going to say last week, but let's face it, it was, what, 2.5 weeks ago. But, yeah, 90th minute winner versus Memphis. So dangerous coming off the bench.
Now, I just mentioned when we announced the attendance, 12,547, that this was the highest attended New Mexico United match this season. We've just received confirmation this is the highest attended USL Championship match this season. Pleasure to be on hand here. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst at the Lab. First time showdown between New Mexico United and Birmingham Legion. And this one certainly not going in favor of the black and yellow. Agudelo is going to be called for the foul. So Asiadu checks in, and substitutions again brought to you by REDW CPAs and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity. Portillo back to Ryden. Still 20 minutes left of regulation plus stoppage time, so we've seen crazier things happen here at the Lab.
We certainly have, but something certainly needs to change. Just looking right now, you know, again, it's the defenders of New Mexico United who have the ball, and the movement ahead of the ball it's just not there. It seems like Brett, Preston, Rivas all occupying the same space and kind of tripping over each other and just making it's just far too easy for the Legion back line to stay really compact, stay within the width of the 18-yard box and just keep New Mexico United at arm's length right now.
Looking for the through ball, and Dean just doesn't have the pace to track that down. Asiadu Has garnered Team of the Week honors 3 times this season, Week 4, 5, and in Week 8, he was the Player of the Week. Not bad when you can pull someone like that off your bench with 20 minutes to go. Yearwood gives that one away. And Yearwood's going to be called for the foul. Fiesta Auto Group free kick here for the visitors. It's Cornali. Martinez has to come out of his box to send that one away. Well, it ended up being a pretty decent ball there for Martinez. Asiadu scored the 90th minute game winner the last time Legion played. That was June 8th at home against Memphis. It was James providing the assist. Asiadu checked in that game for Marlon in the 72nd minute. Going back post. Harivo falls, and Harivo sends that wide once again. He's had plenty of good looks here tonight.
I was just about to say the same thing. The ball just seems to find him in the 18-yard box, and he just hasn't quite had the finishing touch. But going back to what you were saying about Asiadu, we haven't even mentioned Kasim, Legion's top scorer, absent tonight, and haven't missed a beat. And yeah, like you say, being able to bring Asiadu off the bench, that's the depth of the squad for Legion just on show there.
Legion in 2021, they finished second in their division. If you remember the divisional play that we went through last year, finished second in the Central Division. They were bounced out of the playoffs in the conference semifinals at Tampa, where they lost 1-0. Had quite the run last season, did Legion, picking up 18 wins, just 8 losses, and 6 draws. They're continuing their form here this season as well, above the playoff line in the Eastern Conference, as Preston was literally tackled, and I don't mean tackle as in a football type of sense. That was an American football tackle.
Yeah. He just hung on for dear life. Harivo just absolutely hung on for dear life, was making sure there was no way that they were getting into the next level and wanted to stop that attack. So rightly so, a yellow card from the referee.
So 74th minute yellow card for Zach Harivo. Well, Harivo, he's had plenty of scoring chances, unable to convert it. Figured he'd get in the book one way tonight, right?
He's got himself on the stat sheet, that's for sure. Now, the last free kick, wasted by Chris Wehan. There's no other way of saying it, so I'm sure he'll be looking to try something. He's going to try and drop it in that space just behind the back line, I'm assuming right around the penalty spot.
Portillo falls to Rivas, plays it back in, flicked on, cleared out, and Legion able to deal with the pressure. Here's Yearwood. Wehan into Preston. Preston dispossessed there in the midfield by Lopez. Tambakis has to come out and head it away to Austin Yearwood. A little bit of an iffy moment there with the back line.
Hey, it was on. The counter-attack was on there. Martinez was springing forward there, and Tambakis just used his experience there, knew it was right on the edge of the 18-yard box, so used his head instead of his hands.
And that shot takes a deflection, and luckily for Alex Tambakis, just goes wide. It's a Bank of America corner kick coming up here for the visitors.
You can normally tell how close or how sure a goalkeeper is by their reaction, and Tambakis was scrambling there. He wasn't 100% convinced that was going wide.
And you can start to tell, Chris, the crowd's starting to get just a little bit restless here tonight as 75 minutes gone by. Their team down 2-0. And you have to give credit where it's due. Birmingham, one of the stingiest defenses, and you're seeing exactly why here this evening. And also there were questions if they'd be a little bit rusty coming off of their 17-day hiatus in between matches. That is certainly not the case, as they look very well rested and sharp here.
Yeah, look sharp, and we said this at halftime. It was a perfectly executed game plan. They gave up a lot of the ball, gave up a lot of the possession, but were absolutely clinical with it in the first half. And right now, it looks like that first half displays what's going to win them the game.
So we've got a substitution here for Legion. Subbing on, you have forward Eddie Horvath, and he's going to be replacing forward Juan Agudelo. So Agudelo's day is done, a goal and an assist for the MLS veteran. So Eddie Horvath checks in. And New Mexico starting quickly. Here's Preston. As Preston, a little bit of a heavy touch there as he got into the box, and no issue for Van Oekel.
And the issue right there is obviously Preston was trying to create something from very little there, right? So he was running, obviously driving into space, really positive play. If you look in the box, there was 4 defenders for Legion, and Rivas and Nico Brett. That was it for New Mexico United, because no one else had really took a gamble that Preston was gonna take that space and take that and do that kind of drive and run.
Bruce plays this through ball for Azira. Perfectly weighted. There's the veteran Michael Azira looking for Chris Wehan through the middle. It's poked away by Lopez. Asiadu goes back to Harivo. Back to Roof. Here's Yearwood. Gets it back from Azira. Goes back to Azira now. Austin Yearwood out of Charlotte, North Carolina. He's only got 5 starts on this season. This is his 6th appearance as he's been dealing with injury. And Preston is called for the foul. Over near the end line, this is going to be a free kick coming up here for Legion. Yeah, a little bit of extracurriculars.
I am not sure I would be picking a fight with Cronali if I was Preston Taborataka, but that's who he decided to face up against there. You can just say it's just the frustration. Like, nothing's really... I'm not saying nothing's worked, but definitely New Mexico United have not had it all their own way, and frustration is starting to bubble to the top now.
And very well said. It's going to be a free kick here for Birmingham following the foul committed by Preston. One just skips by Rivas real quick. Ball scooped into the 18, and that's Altam Bacchus. Just over 10 minutes remaining here of the 90, Chris. New Mexico, for being so dominating possession, really have not had much doing here tonight.
Oh, yeah, there was that little flurry where there was, I don't even know who the defender was. I think it was maybe Dean. It may have been Roof who cleared one. It wasn't really off the line, but, went full extension. But other than that, Van Oekel had that clearance that came outside the box that turned into a counter-attack. It was the save in the first half. Other than that, it's been very, very comfortable for them.
And just from what I can see here, as far as our stat machine tells me, 14 shots for Legion, 4 for New Mexico. And of those 4, just 1 on target for the black and yellow. So that was the same that they had at halftime, meaning their 3 shots that they've been able to muster up here in the second 45, none of which have been on target. New Mexico sitting on about 63% of the possession here tonight. And Legion, they've stayed compact. They've done well to maintain their shape and play defensively here today. Looking to pick up their 3rd consecutive clean sheet. And this is not an easy place to do it at.
No, it's really not. And, you know, normally this time of the game we'd be talking about, you know, the altitude sitting there, but they've been so efficient in what they've done. I'm not sure the altitude's really going to have an effect on them tonight.
Well, and as you were saying that, I start looking it up, right? In Birmingham, according to the internet, 600, yeah, exactly. Everything's true on the internet. 643 feet above sea level. 643. New Mexico here in Albuquerque, some parts over a mile high in elevation. So certainly, we've seen it play a role in some matches here before, but the conditioning for Legion has been top-notch. Into the 83rd minute we go. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on hand. It's the largest attended match in the USL Championship this season. 12,547 on hand here at the lab to watch this first-time showdown between Birmingham Legion and New Mexico United. Nico Brett on the end of this one, playing for the first time in his career against a former club in USL Championship. Weehan gets in to deflect that. Good bounce for New Mexico as Preston's first touch goes awry. Yearwood crosses this one in, headed away by Cronali. And nobody even relatively close to Cronali either. Yearwood does well to get it back and actually draws the foul there. 84th minute.
You trying to look up where Alabama is now?
Look at where Birmingham is in Alabama. Battle down there at the end line between Kavita and I believe that was Seymour. Asiadu now has options and he plays it behind the run of Harivo. Here's Weehan now, and Lopez gets in to break that one up. Falls to Preston. Here's the Cameroonian, Preston Tabordataka, and he's going to win the corner kick. So Bank of America corner kick coming up here, 85th minute. New Mexico looking to find the back of the net here for the first time this evening.
And they need something quick, right? If it's going to happen for New Mexico United, they need the first one pretty soon here. Set up a grandstand finish, hopefully.
The delivery, back post, bouncing around. Still bouncing around in the box. Azira now. Out to Bruce. Cross in from the Englishman, skips across, and it's going to be a goal kick.
Finally, a little bit of, I don't want to say sustained, because it's only been a minute or two, but a little bit more focused pressure that Legion are having to absorb here. So maybe New Mexico United, the desperation is forcing them to maybe work through the gears a little quicker, because it has. Again, we talked about when Daniel Bruce came on the field, we were looking for that spark. That spark still hasn't happened, unfortunately.
Looks like we may be seeing a double change coming up here for the Three Sparks. Substitutions coming up here momentarily is New Mexico in the midfield. Portillo is dispossessed. And all by himself, it's a Siadu, but the offside flag is up. And now we will see the double change here for Legion. So a couple of subs here for Legion. Substitutions are presented by RADW CPAs and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity. We're going to see the midfielder Bruno Lapa and another midfielder Grayson DuPont enter the match as Mikey Lopez will check out. Looks like we're also seeing a substitution here for New Mexico as Carl St. is going to enter the match. See who exited. And it was Justin Portillo. So Carl St. out here for New Mexico. He made his professional debut on opening night as a substitute in the 87th minute against Las Vegas Lights. He's been spending a lot of time lately with the Haitian national team. He's been getting some caps under his belt. New Mexico had a number of players going out on national team duty over about the past month, where Nico Brett joined the Reggae Boys for a match against Catalonia. And that one, very dangerous for New Mexico, but still unable to capitalize on the opportunity. Here's Yearwood. What a cutback from Yearwood. Cross goes in, and Yearwood nearly bent that one in. We've seen him do that from that exact angle before. As you can see, the rain now starting to come down as we near the end of the 90 minutes.
You can see what Preston has brought since he came on the field. He's very, very direct there and create that cross where Van Oekel just couldn't hold it. And maybe it's because, to be honest, up in our vantage point, I didn't realize it was raining.
Right.
We're lucky we're inside, but yeah. And, you know, maybe making it a little harder. But, again, is it too little too late? But the other interesting thing is Portillo, Zach Prince, maybe showing a little frustration with his midfielders. Sam Hamilton pulled shortly after a misplaced pass. Portillo gives the ball away. A minute later, he's pulled off the field as well. So maybe Zach Prince showing a little frustration with his midfield duo there, where that you feel like not all of the problems, but a lot of the trouble that they've had is the midfield of New Mexico United, I would include Chris Wehan in that as well, has not been involved enough, not been on the ball enough.
And again, you've got to credit
that's Birmingham Legion.
The tactics.
They've absolutely just clogged up the middle of the park there and done a great job in taking away, because, you know, Portillo's range of passing, Hamilton's range of passing, Wehan dangerous with the ball at his feet. Take that away. Nava was taken off at halftime because in the midfield he just could not get on the ball. Done a great job of clogging that up in there.
Harivo goes to ground. Here comes Preston. He's got Wehan ahead of him, and Harivo able to make a defensive recovery. He got beat there, but came back stronger to win the ball back. And that is a big, big turn of events there for Legion.
Is that another back stronger?
Ball goes long here. It's Lapa. Harivo. So we have hit the 90-minute mark, Chris. And we've been alerted that there's 4 minutes of New Mexico Pinon coffee stoppage time. Great coffee is a matter of opinion. So about 3.5 minutes now remaining as Chris Wehan has been shown a yellow. Yellow card brought to you by Wendy's. Stop by Wendy's tomorrow, get a free breakfast biscuit at participating New Mexico locations. So Legion will not be in that much of a hurry here over the next 3 minutes and change. Bruce, he just muffed that one.
Muffed? I don't think I've ever heard that saying before.
I feel like you've watched enough American football that you've had to have heard that before.
Oh, maybe. Okay. Context threw me off then. Sorry.
That's fair. .90 seconds gone by of the allotted 4 minutes. And this one goes just wide as Alex Tambakis was caught steadfast in front of his goal.
And I think that 10, 15, 20 seconds there just sums up the evening for New Mexico United. Seymour under a little bit of pressure, but not much. Just giving the ball away needlessly, and that's happened so many times for New Mexico United today.
It's another Bank of America corner kick. So New Mexico, we mentioned, it's been a 7-match unbeaten streak that started by way of a draw against Sac Republic over at Heart Health Park. It was 0-0 on May 4th. Last time New Mexico lost a match was right here at Isotopes Park on April 23rd. It was San Antonio FC coming in with a 1-0 victory. On the score sheet that night was Justin Dillon in the 67th minute. That is the only other loss here at the Lab this season for the Black and Yellow. Ball goes in and slipping. Very, very fortunate there for New Mexico. Seymour went to ground, but no Legion players there for a tap-in. And that's exactly what it would have been.
Yeah, and again, that just, kind of sums it up. And that's not easy to deal with either. It's just fallen apart a little bit for New Mexico United here in the dying stages. They're probably, I think Zach Prince is desperate for the final whistle here so he can get his troops in and just kind of, they need to regroup. And, luckily they don't have too long to wait before the game where they can dust themselves down and go again.
Less than 30 seconds remain of stoppage time. Offside flag is up on Lapa. So we said here, Chris, something had to give. It was 2 unbeaten streaks, 2 winning streaks coming in as New Mexico had won 5 straight. Birmingham riding a 3-game winning streak. For all intents and purposes, looks like it's going to go to 4. And that is the full-time whistle here at the Lab. The first ever meeting between Birmingham and New Mexico goes to the visitors 2-0. It was a Juan Agudelo masterclass here today. A goal and an assist here for the MLS veteran. And a big win on the road for Legion. Chris, quickly, your thoughts here following full time.
Yeah, a huge win, and 3rd away win out of 4 wins. That 4-winning streak for Birmingham Legion, 3 of them away from home. So to come all the way to New Mexico and pull out the win in not easy conditions with the weather and the crowd, unbelievable result for Legion.
Tonight's Duke City Cares final score is 2-0 Birmingham Legion over New Mexico United. We're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll be back here. Actually, it looks like we've got our play of the match, sponsored by Michelob Ultra. It was Alex Tambakis with his save early on in the first half. Is able to keep the game at 2-0 at that point. Tambakis also our man of the match, brought to you by Pepsi. He came into this match with 27 saves on this season. And last but not least, our save of the match, brought to you by Invigorate Roofing. Alex Tambakis, once again, it was the 41st minute save that we showed you just at the beginning of those highlights. So, again, we're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll be back to wrap things up here in just a moment.
one, REDW has been an integral partner and one of the first companies to say yes to the crazy idea of this soccer team that we all love. Because of REDW's belief, support, and expert financial guidance, United is in a better place today. Their focus on community-first initiatives is perfectly aligned with United's ethos. When they say integrity counts, they mean it, and we are forever grateful and thrilled to be partnered with REDW.
Welcome back to the lab here, ladies and gentlemen. It is the highest attended match in USL Championship this season, 12,547 on hand here at the lab to watch Birmingham Legion take a 2-0 victory over New Mexico United. Your full-time stats here presented by Will Ferguson and Associates. Chris, this is the tale of the tape here, how it shook out, and Legion doubling up New Mexico on shots. They had 4 on target compared to 1 for the black and yellow. And again, New Mexico dominating possession, just really unable to get anything going with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's it just shows how efficient Birmingham Legion were with the ball today.
And so let's go ahead and look at the full-time highlights and get an idea of how this one played out. And for the black and yellow faithful, it's going to be one to forget, but a big-time win here for Birmingham. And it started off early here in the 21st minute. Juan Agudelo scoring his second goal of this season. Then it was Martinez off the assist from Agudelo. That was just 9 minutes later. And that was all the scoring that we had in store this evening as Tambakis comes up with a big save there. But really, Chris, it was a tale of New Mexico on offense, just well running dry.
Yeah, both sides of the ball, like defensively, Birmingham Legion were able to cause, especially in the first half, less so in the second half, but especially in the first half, lots of issues where they were able to pull the back four of New Mexico United around, and they just looked so disjointed at times. And in the second half, this was as good as it got for New Mexico United with some hopeful balls over the top, and it would have to be an absolute peach of a touch there by Rivas to be able to pull that under control. And yeah, and Tambakis, he earned his money today, and it was a 2-0 loss, and if it wasn't for Tambakis, it could have probably been a bit worse.
Alex Tambakis stood on his head at times here tonight. Unfortunately, as you said, didn't get a ton of help from his back line. So New Mexico, they're going to be on the road next, taking on the newcomers over in Monterey Bay. And then we're right back here at the lab just a couple of days after the 4th of July. We're here back on the 6th and the 9th. We're doing a doubleheader against RGV Wednesday, Saturday. Of course, the Wednesday game is a reschedule from this previous Wednesday just a few days ago, as we mentioned, inclement weather impacting the field conversion. So I think that's just about going to do it for here, Chris. Any last thoughts on your side?
No, it's just like I say, I think it'll be good for New Mexico United just to kind of go back to the drawing board a little bit. It just didn't work tonight. There was too many players. You can have a player or two that has an off night, but there's too many players who had off nights tonight, I think.
An off night for the black and yellow, resulting in a 2-0 defeat in their first time showdown against Birmingham Legion. So that's going to do it for all of us here today. We want to give a shout out to our director, Gary Williams, who came in. We were dealing with some issues yesterday, came in on his time off, made sure we had everything set for today. So big shout out to Gary Williams back there, our director. For Chris Hurst on color, my name's Tyler Ortega. We'll see you here in about a week and a half.